Happy Sunday, y'all. Um, Wanted to talk a little bit about, being this is a sports channel, but really from a coaching perspective. Some of the things that have gratified me about, what is really a shorter coaching career um, that I've had, and why I hope it's for so many more years. But really get into the two or three things that have made it as gratifying as it possibly can. Because I've been fairly negative lately. Nice chill spot today, and a chill topic for once. So anyway, I would say number three is trying to order these in my brain a little bit. Number three is, my second full year with Special Olympics. I was coaching my 5-on-5 team, and we had never gone up to the state tournament in 6-7 years, or the program hadn't in 6 or 7 years. It used to be a really storied program, had done really, really well, had an aging, guys in their 40s, really, and a lot of the other programs were very young and spry. And so it was really helped. We went up there, we qualified in a fairly high division, and we won the gold up there. And what was really gratifying, number one, is that you won and that you achieved your goal. But number two, there was a lot of tactical moves that I made that worked, and it felt like a family overcoming something. So I thought that was great. So that's probably number three. Number two is, and I've said this before, you mentor your athletes, especially in the program that we have. So when you're mentoring your athletes, you're really trying to make them into better people. And a lot of coaches try to do that. Some don't. Some do a great job of it. Some of us are just like Coach Carter, I guess. But I try maybe not to use the anger as much. I try to build a familial, that family style atmosphere. And when I see my athletes making life decisions based on some of the things that we've talked about, and they start doing things that are so much better for their life, and they start to calm themselves a little better, they regulate themselves better, and they just take the advice that I've given them and they do something with it. And then they start to do more with it, and they start to do more with it. And I don't call them as much as a parole officer would, but I stay in touch with them. And some I mentor more than others. It's meaningful. I'm a father of one, and my son is number one. He always will be. But I will say this, it's gratifying to have almost kids that they take what I give them, and they come back for more, and they listen. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing. The number one thing that has gratified me as a coach, and by the way, please like, subscribe, and comment, especially if you're other coaches or you know of other coaches or your players or whatever, and comment, please. I'm not trying to dictate a bunch of stuff to y'all. But what I am trying to do is start a conversation, and maybe a month down the line, I'm still going to be monitoring these things as I strive to grow out the channel. I'm going to come back and I'm going to answer these. I'm in on a daily basis on every one of the videos I've done, and I'll keep doing that. I want this to create conversation. To me, that would be fantastic. The number one thing that gratified me was that I run a program with roughly 50 kids from 8 to 64, I think was the oldest one. And one of my kids couldn't, he's nonverbal. And he came into our, because we have 3 tiers, and I have assistant coaches, and I'm part general manager, and I'm part coach. I coach the 5-on-5. Tremendously rewarding to be a coach, but also rewarding to be a general manager and to be the name on the door. And having to make all the personnel decisions, and kind of looking like when you have special needs kids, you have, as an example, in schools, they have an individualized education plan, also known as an IEP. And I kind of look at my athletes with an IEP. And I put a lot of time into preparing how to improve my kids. And this kid comes in and can't even bounce a ball. Cannot talk. Literally was slobbering. And to me, I'm not about can't. I'm about can. And what I asked each of my assistants to do, because we have 5-on-5, we have 3-on-3, and then we have special skills. And special skills, all they do is they do dribbling, they do a pass up against the wall, and they do shooting from 3 different parts of the basically the free throw step. I mean the 3 sections of the free throw line on each side and they shoot 12 shots, 2 from each, and that's how they score. That's how they win their gold or their silver or their bronze or whatever, and that's how they compete. He couldn't even compete because he couldn't even bounce the ball. So I had asked each of my assistants to say, okay, I need 1 or 2 kids each month that on every 3rd or 4th practice, I'm going to take 20 minutes of our 2-hour time period at least, and I'm going to sit down and go one-on-one with some of these, on a remedial basis. And I'm going to be the rover. I'm going to have one of my assistants run the 5-on-5, and I'm just going to rove. And it really worked because, this kid, like I say, couldn't even bounce the ball. So what I did, and this goes to what we talked about in that micro skills video, I got down on my hands and knees with him, and I got him down on his hands and knees, and I put like a, put some soft surface up in front of us, and I basically tapped it from about 3 inches, and because I theorized that it was the depth perception that was the issue. So what I did is I wanted to build his ability to bounce a ball, and that he would learn physically rather than intellectually. And that is true of most of the lower end cognitive athletes, let alone people in the world. So much of what I've learned from occupational therapists. I've learned from speech therapists. I've learned from all kinds of people that have helped my son, and I paid attention. So I got on my hands and knees, and over 2 to 3 minute time period, we were able to get him to do it, and he was thrilled, And then we got it to where he could bounce the ball about a foot in the air, and he could. And I was basically, I took his hand, I put my hand over his hand, I made eye contact. Is this okay? And his mom was right there, and so we did that, and then we just kept going, and then we slowly stood up to where he was able to do it. And it took maybe 5 minutes total. He was able to bounce the ball straight up and down with a, up to almost waist level, mid-thigh. And then, without warning him, I just started walking backwards. Actually, I faded the prompt first, and I got to where, okay, you're bouncing it. And he's like, and he's nodding the whole time. So it was so cool, man. And then I just started backing up really slowly. And see, one of the things they do is they have to do a 20-meter dribble for time to compete for medals, or otherwise they don't get to have any experience at all other than practice. So I just started backing up, and before he knew it, he went 20 meters. And the next week, I saw that he was struggling, but he was able, once he got started, because the assistant was there, and he's a great coach too. He saw what I did. He didn't have to retrace much of it. Obviously, they must have practiced it during the week. We only practice once a week. The kid didn't stay in the program after that. He went and did other things, but the kid was able to achieve. So, coolest thing in the world as a coach are those 3 things. Is you change lives. So That's why I wanted to do this channel about coaching, but also it's really going to be about sports. And so you'll see a lot more of these coming soon, where it's mainly sports. But coaching is such a noble profession. Part teacher, part motivator. Just love it. I also love this little area, Ann Arbor. So hope this was nice and chill for you. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, hit that share button and go, hey, buds, this guy's kind of cool. He knows what he's doing. This is a kind of neat angle he takes. Help me grow the channel, please. I mean, this is a labor of love, just like everything else I've done that leads up to it. So hope this finds you well, and I hope you have a pleasant week ahead. And we'll be in touch again real soon. Take care of yourself, guys. See ya.